Hello to everybody today. My name is Michael Byrne and I'm involved with Offaly history. And I'm here today with Al Conroy, who was a well-known printer there in Kilbride Street, beside the butcher shop there, from 1958 actually, until he retired in 2001, when his son Brian took over. You're very welcome, Al.
Thank you very much, Michael.
And today we're going to look at some of the pictures you took of well-known Tullamore characters, mainly in the 70s. I remember well going into your printing works when I was a youngster. In fact, Kilbride Street was a great place because you had the forge there of Bobby Kelly, and then you had your place, and there was McGowan's or Gowran's shop. There were lots of interesting places, and there was a Mr. Mills, I think, repaired watches and clocks in the middle of the street.
That's right, yeah.
So it was quite an interesting street and a great hum on it. And of course, as probably most of you may know, a lot of the old street was demolished in the mid-1970s and parts of it were rebuilt. Anyway, we're not here today to talk about that. We're going to talk about the people in these photographs that Al took mainly in the 70s. And your first picture there, Al, is...
Martin Mills from O'Malley Street.
Very good. And
he never wore a shirt, winter or summer.
Oh, never wore a shirt. He would be no good to Dunn's Stores or the other draperies. He looks a hardy man there.
Yeah.
And he lived in O'Malley Street. He was an old-time resident of the street, was he?
Yes.
Yeah. And his name again?
Bart Mills.
Bart Mills. Oh, sure, he probably was related to the man who used to repair the clocks.
Would have been related, yes.
Yeah.
That man was a great locksmith.
Yes. And our next picture then is...
Somebody from Tara had a shop in Tullamore.
I do remember it well, the cake shop it was called.
Yes, and then he went into photography.
Yeah, it was down in Patrick Street beside the credit union.
And a wonderful character. He was a bachelor.
Was he?
And a great character. I
remember him. I didn't know his marital status because I was too young. But we used to have our birthday parties, 2 or 3 of us. In the back of the shop there was an eating area, and you could have cakes and so on as part of a treat. He took a lot of pictures around Tullamore, didn't he?
Yes.
I wonder, are there any negatives surround? I'm just mentioning that in case anybody's listening who might know if there are negatives of the pictures that he took, because they'd be quite important, given that we don't have Paddy Bracken's pictures either. They're in the local newspapers. But they're not available as prints or negatives.
Mainly wedding photography he was doing.
Oh, Willie was doing the weddings, was he? Yep. Yeah. And the next person then is...
a friend of ours, Billy Dunn.
Billy Dunn. And where was he from, Al?
Ballyduff.
Ballyduff, yeah.
On the Tar Road there.
And was he well known for anything in particular?
Yes, he was a master butcher.
Oh, master butcher.
He came home from America and got a job with Tormy's. And... he was related to Greenwich.
Yeah, very good. I mean, that's, butchers are scarce now with the closing of various shops, including Tormy's. And this man?
That's the same man, yeah.
Oh, the same man, sorry, yeah. And there's a character too.
That's a character of the town, well known by everybody, Billy Quinlan.
Billy Quinlan, yeah. He was in here once or twice because his son was in printing and design, as like yourself.
That's right, Mark.
And we met him a few times here. He's there at the Bridge Centre, isn't he? Just beside the Bridge House. And then you have a man who worked here as well, on and off.
Clem McMorris.
Clem McMorris,
I wish we'd go with him to do photographs, yeah.
Yeah, he's there with Bishop Smith.
Bishop Smith.
In Tullamore Church, I suppose.
That's
it looks like the background to the new church, yeah. So that's probably taken in maybe 1990 or...
Well, actually you have the dates at home somewhere on a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
If you really need them,
Yeah, Clem did work for us here in the Historical Society. And we also printed some of his pictures in the book on the people of Tullamore in the 20th century.
I saw those pictures. He had 100 pictures, 10 by 8.
10 by 8. They were very nice. He took nice character sketches of people. And this man was in Cloonan's, was he? Or?
No, that man was in my shop just getting a bit of fishing tackle. Tom Bradley was his name.
Oh, yes, I forgot that you did fishing tackle. as well as printing.
Blue Ball Expression, that's where he came from.
And Mr. Bradley.
Bradley,
Yeah.
yes.
Very
Bob
good.
Bradley, actually.
Bob Bradley, yeah.
My brother, the man uptown, they had the motor car parts, spare parts. You know, you put Gibson's was years ago.
Oh, yes, I know the shop, yeah. And that's an old photograph anyway. It looks like
No, that's Bobby Kelly on the left.
Bobby Kenny.
Kelly.
Oh, yes,
From
Bobby
Park
Kelly,
Avenue.
yes.
Martin O'Brien in the background there, the drummer.
Yes.
That's Patricia Pender. She'd be
John's daughter, is it?
John's daughter, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And that's the famous Maureen Kenny.
Ah, yeah, because I thought when I saw the picture first it was Kenny's band, but was that Bobby Kelly's?
Bobby Kelly,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was a man who used to work on a bread van, was
That's
he?
right, he was a bit
He
of a
was a
kid.
character, wasn't
He
he?
was a bit of a character.
He was always jolly and
Always smiling.
whistling and cheerful, yes. Nice picture. And there's another nice one.
That's Cathy's kidney.
Yes, yeah, he did the blinds in
yeah.
here where we're sitting at the minute.
Yeah, he still does, actually.
Yeah, very good.
That lady was in for a bit of a chat, I think, that day. She had the restaurant down in Harbour Street. What was it called? That's the Blue Year from the other one.
Oh, was she Australian? Was that
No,
the place?
she's from Road, actually. But,
Oh,
Ward.
Ward, yeah.
That's my name, Ward, yeah.
Very good. And there's a well-known character as well.
Yeah. Colbert Keeley.
Colbert Keeley, yeah. And they seem to be selling strawberries on the street here
That's
in those
right.
days, yeah.
He saw me with the camera and he done this.
Yes,
So
of course, yeah. They were all characters. We had a talk from Edmund Williams back in the late 90s, and he said that there were more Keeleys in Williamses than there were Williamses. And that young man we know too.
That's Colm Condren.
Colm Condren, yeah. That's up in Arden Heights, yeah. Yeah, nice man.
And they're very famous. Everywhere you go, you meet them, those people.
And who are they?
And Levy.
And yes.
And Conroy.
Conlevy, yes, I've heard the name now. They're from out Ballydaly, are they?
Yeah.
Very good. And that couple?
That's Dominic McCarthy from Clara, a well-known accordion player.
Yes. And his wife, is it?
No, his girlfriend.
His girlfriend, yeah, very good. And that's a priest from Tullamore, is it?
That's right, and I think his father Clark.
No, it's not Clark anyway, because unless it's an old Father Clark. There was a Clark here in the 50s, but it wouldn't be Harkin or...
No, it was like two people in that vintage, I remember, Father Clark and Father O'Reilly.
Yeah.
But I think that's Father Clark.
Very good. Well, if anybody else has any suggestions on that, email them in to us. And that's, well, we know that man anyway.
Seamus Houlihan.
That's Seamus Houlihan. That was from the shop, and he was working at the shop in Arden Road, wasn't he?
For years, yes.
Yeah, people call in when they were going to the hospital to get the patients fruit. And that man?
There's a well-known man too in Tullamore back in the year, Jerry Quinn.
Jerry Quinn, yes.
He was known as the best fisherman in town. Like. He was very knowledgeable in fly fishing.
Yeah. And where would he have gone to fish now?
He was going to Palace Lake, mainly Lough
Yes. Yeah.
He used to tie his own flies.
And where did the bulk of your customers fish when they were into you to get tackle?
Mainly Lough I would think.
Yeah. And I think you did the worms as well, didn't you?
I did. You did, yeah. By the worms.
I recall my son going in to get them. We used to dig them up ourselves when we were children.
And they're the best worms when you dig up.
That's a nice one of Willie Doherty again, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, nice man he was. And John Lowry, of course, very much with us.
One of ours, as I say.
Yeah, one flew over.
Duntar Road, man.
Yeah, he is, of course, yeah. Very nice man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Sean Forrestal, of course, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the shop there near you, didn't he?
That's opposite the chip shop.
He had the first dance hall, or one of the
That's
first.
right.
Himself and Jackie Findlay were both involved in dance halls. I suppose you printed a lot of posters for dances.
Oh, I was doing a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of posters, yeah.
I'd say if you had them now, you'd be a rich man. They're very collected now for all the bands.
But I have that time, Yanks used to come into me and ask me for posters. And I just fling them out like nothing else, you know.
Yes. And did you collect the photographs of the bands, or would you?
No.
No. Yeah, well, it's a big business.
Yes.
Yeah, he's dead a few years now, maybe
He's dead
9 or 10 years.
2012.
2012, yeah. And there's another famous man in your own trade.
Yeah. Well, that's right from my time with Jack Adams.
Oh, did you? That was down in
Store Street.
in Store Street, yeah. Jack Adams, yeah.
Lovely
And
man.
did his methods differ much from yours?
Very same.
Very same methods, yeah. I remember him there, but he probably finished in the 80s, did he? Or
He would have finished the 80s.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. See the signs there behind for chilled something or other, chilled orange.
It
That
could-
was probably for Daly's shop,
could have been,
maybe,
yeah.
because they used to do that chilled orange. It was a very nice product. And that was the man in the swimming pool,
Very
wasn't
important man, yeah. Jack Gibney.
it? Yeah.
Jack Gibney and his wife. She was in O'Connor.
Yeah, she was in O'Connor, yeah. They lived in David Street, didn't
David
they?
Street.
Yes, yeah. And that young man?
Well, you might know Jim Davis from Mount Bolus.
Oh, was he? Davis from Mount Bolus, yeah. They're an old family out there.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because Pádraig was doing photographs of the Rathrobbin collection 2 or 3 years ago, and there was a family of them featured in that book. And there's another famous character.
Jim Hogan.
He was the water inspector, wasn't he?
That's
Yeah,
right, for a few years, yes.
yeah, he was a character. His sons now are in America, some of them.
That's right. There's one of them, a postman here in
Yeah,
town.
and the others are in America, yeah. It's a nice picture. What fish is that now?
That's a trout.
Trout, yeah, looks lovely. Oh, better man. And this is...
It's in the harbour now.
yes.
Uh,
That's Paul Smith in the back,
Paul
is it?
Smith in the back and Jim Ruby, I think his name was.
Jim Luby.
Yep.
Yeah, and I see they've lovely timber there for... That's probably for the lock gates,
That's what
is
it
it?
was for, yeah.
Yeah. And there's the old crane. Don't know if that's still there. And...
Another character of the town.
was he
Jimmy Dooner.
Jimmy Dooner, yeah. He must have been out in the States for a while with his lovely baseball T-shirt. Or was he in your shop as well? Was
in
that
my shop
yeah,
buying
yeah,
some tackle.
yeah, very good. Well, you were getting paid in cash anyway. And there's a famous character, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he became a caretaker in the Constellation Home.
Yes, yeah. Nice man, yeah.
Star man, I can't remember his name.
From Clara, was
Clara,
he?
yeah.
That was some of the viewers will know him. And that young man?
That man came from Kilkenny to Tullamore. And I got to know him, and so did Sean Forrestal. Again, he was a great character.
Yeah,
He lived in Ballydaly.
in Ballydaly, but he wasn't from town.
No, a
He came-
Limerick man.
A Limerick man, yeah.
John Brennan.
John Brennan. He came in his Banshee jumper anyway.
Mm,
You know that film they had recently?
that's right. That's the same man again.
Oh, the same man again, yeah, thanks.
There's a man, one of the last ramblers of Tullamore. He's rambled at different houses, you know.
Did he, that man?
And I'm very welcome anywhere he went because he's a great character. He's great humour.
Yeah.
John Dewan,
John Dewan, yeah.
a brother of the barber here in town.
I remember Willie, yeah, he was in your street too, in
That's
Kilbride
right, down at
Street,
the
yeah.
end.
He used to cut hair for a shilling,
That's right.
which would be only, what, 5 pence or something
That's it.
in the old money, yeah. Or 12 pence, in fact, in the old money. Yes. And there's another character that was worked up in Clement Cemetery,
That's
didn't
it,
he?
yeah.
Oh, yes, John Malloy, yes, yeah. Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's a job, a philosophical sort of a job.
Mm.
And there's another character.
I take him now with the long forehead ends because he's off about 100 yards away, you know.
Yeah, that's John O'Connor
John
of
O'Connor, yeah.
Church Street, yeah.
Church Street, yeah.
Yeah. He's there talking to the man who was in the band,
Oh,
the
Gilligan.
town band, Gilligan, that's
Gilligan,
it, yeah.
Sean Gilligan.
And they're down, yes, you can see your lens. I see a HB sign.
Mm.
And it looks like High Street because there's an orange shop front there, which is still there. Maybe not, but it looks like it. And that lady's busy painting her garden gate. She's a Kate Clavin from Arden Heights, is she?
How did you get that?
I think so, because her name is...
He's coming up in that, is it?
yeah, it's coming up there in the
Yeah,
top
Kate
corner.
Clara, she was a nurse and she lived beside us for about maybe 7 or 8 years.
Yes, yeah,
She
very
was
good.
a spinster.
Was she, yeah.
Nice lady.
Yes. And there's another character, Larry Arthur.
How do you know him? Oh,
Yeah. Larry's from Turles Pass,
Turles
isn't
Pass,
he?
yeah,
Yeah, he
talking to
was
him,
quite famous for his music.
He was. I talked to him in the tent that time. That was in Loch Ella. There was a
Yes,
music festival.
yeah. Yeah, he was famous for playing over there in the church and in events in Turles Pass. And that's, of course, you know who that is, don't you?
Yeah.
That's Liam Daly, isn't it?
Liam Daly,
Yeah.
yeah.
His wife is actually works here. And the man beside him, I remember Paddy Grogan,
Paddy
was
Grogan,
it?
yes.
Yeah. He lived in David Street,
Tower
did
Street,
he? Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was a family in Grogan's in that street right back to the beginning of the building of the houses in the 1900s. And where was that one taken? I see Granny something or other.
I think it was taken in a parade, Paddy's Day parade.
Oh, yes, yes. That would explain it, yeah. Very good. And that's a man called Lomond
John Murray,
Murray, yeah.
a clerk in the post office here in Tullamore.
Oh, was he? Yes, yeah.
He lived in Geeshel, a lot of years in Geeshel.
He had a lovely garden there, didn't he?
He had, yeah.
Yeah. And these pictures, did you take them by accident or were you going around looking for...
Oh, no, by accident.
By
I
accident?
always tried a small camera
Oh,
with
I
me.
see, yeah. That was long in the days long before the mobile phones,
That's
of course.
right.
Yeah. And there's a few characters in that picture.
Yeah, I know them by sight, but I can't put a name on them. I know that's
Well,
Mr. Kane and
Mixer Kane is there anyway, and there's a Mr. Flanagan there, I think. And there's a Mr. Gorman, is
Foreman
there?
and back.
And who's the man at the back with the medal on his...
That's what I'm trying to figure.
Is he Mr. Bracken or would he be?
It could be a Bracken or it could be
Yeah.
a Flanagan as well.
And are they in the Irish Defence Forces, is that? Are they the medals there?
That's the medal, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Yeah, very good. And Mixer was a famous character in town. He lived near your family home, didn't he?
I did.
Your-
Number 13, we were
Yeah.
number 8.
Your father would have known him very well. And that's...
That's Billy Dunn, the butcher's wife.
yes, yeah. Yeah, very good. She playing billiards there somewhere.
Yeah.
Or snooker.
No, he was a character.
Yes, yeah, another man from your street. Matt Reid. That's a nice picture. That'll certainly conjure up memories, won't it, for a lot of people who used to go when...
Smiley, he was always smiling.
Yeah. That was the days when Quinsworth, or 5-star supermarket, was open, where Tesco was afterwards.
That's right.
And he was quite close. So the whole street was a very busy place then, wasn't it?
Yeah, you had Billy, the blacksmith down, say that.
Yeah. It's a lovely presentation there. And he must have done health foods as well.
He did. He had herbal food.
Medicine, yeah. Yeah, Matty Reid, nice man. And there's another character, Mr. He was a coppersmith, wasn't he, in his spare time?
That's Mr. McDonough.
Yeah.
He used to get communion in church maybe 10 times and keep going up.
I can remember him going up. He'd get it a couple of times anyway. Yeah, and I think
Harmless
he made coal buckets and that
He did.
from old tanks. And,
That's right.
yeah. That's probably taken up in the GEA. It has the look of the GEA.
He came to church. Yeah, the church.
Or the time the church was used there when the other one. So that would put it in the mid 1980s.
Yeah.
Yes. Another famous family, the McMahons, isn't it? Yeah. You knew all them well, I suppose.
No,
did
well,
you?
no.
No, Paddy Mac.
Paddy Mac.
Yeah, and his
Sister.
was that his sister or his
I
wife?
think that's his sister.
Yeah,
Censor and that.
yeah, very good. That shop opened, I believe, about 1912, and it was there for nearly 100 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. Now there's another famous man in
I was
Tullamore.
going out of the garden road one day. I always had my camera with me. And I saw Mick Garvin in the garden.
Yes, yeah,
It was then they took a photo of him.
yeah. He was associated with the gravel pit, and then
He was the man.
he developed Ready Mix.
That's right.
And Andy there is his son now, yeah. He was a good businessman, I'd say.
Great businessman,
Yeah. I think when he was 90, he was still bringing the old folks, as you called them, to Mass each morning.
Oh, he would have been that type of person, yeah.
Yeah. Michael McGowan, is it?
Michael McGowan.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know him, no. That was taken in 11, I see. That's more recent.
Yeah.
And you have a few more people here now that you'd know.
Mick Foster.
And Maya Fraser.
Maya Fraser, yeah. So I play a bit of music myself. I got to know these people.
And Tony Allen.
Tony Allen.
They were in the music business,
Music business.
Foster and Allen. Yeah. Very good. Did you take that in Tullamore? Or?
No, that's in the concert in Portage.
Ah, very good. Very good. And here's another one. There's a Mick Howie, I suppose. Did you know him?
It was a Hoy.
Hoy, yes.
Yeah, from Portage, from Mount Ross, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And that's John the detective. I can't put his second name.
But you have there the old Garda station,
That's right.
I see, and you have the old fire station.
Mm-hmm.
So that must put the picture, 1990s or 1980s perhaps, maybe 1990s.
Yeah.
I know the station was demolished about 2002. But the fire station, you probably remember the old one that had the siren.
Yeah.
That rang all over the town for the firemen.
People objected to the noise of it.
The noise of it. It was like an air raid warning, yeah. And there's Mixer again, isn't it?
Bone Mixer.
Yeah. That was taken in Arden, I see.
Arden,
because you can see the burial ground connected with the workhouse in the background.
Oh, yes, I see that.
Yeah, beside Arden Vale. And that's a man called Michael Carney, I see from your notes. He's in a bar downtown, is he?
That's Hugh Lynch's.
Oh, Hugh Lynch's, of course, yeah. Also on your street. I see the nice jar of mustard there, Coleman's mustard.
Just have a sandwich under in there.
Did he? Yeah, yeah. So this picture is of your neighbour, Mrs.
Miss
Cullen.
Cullen from, originally from Ballinasloe, I believe.
Oh, was she? And she was married to Eddie Cullen, who was an engineer in town. And I think they lived at the corner of Kilbride Street and Patrick Street.
They lived beside my shop there.
Yeah. And then they moved beside your shop.
Oh, on the corner, yes.
Yeah, they lived beside where Flynn's Bakery is originally. Yeah. You saw a lot of changes in Kilbride Street in the years you were there. Oh, there's another famous character now. That's Mrs.
Kennedy.
Mrs. Banny Kennedy, yeah. And where was that shop?
Just beside me. Remember,
was it?
Remember Tony Heaton?
Oh, yes, Tony used to repair the clocks, yeah. Very good. Yeah. She's a nice lady.
Real lady, yes.
She lived up at Elmfield there.
Elmfield.
And she painted a lot and she was very knowledgeable.
I have one of her paintings, actually.
On birds and, yeah. She did a picture of the forge, Bobby Kelly's forge, which we have here in the Historical Centre. And that's Mrs. MacDonough. Was she related to the other man that
I said they were, yeah.
Ah, yes.
She used to go around every week, collecting by hour.
Scrap. And she had a lovely pram there. If she had that now, it'd be worth 1,000. I see it's a quality pram. And that's a Mrs. Whelan, according to your notes.
Mrs. Whelan, a very famous woman too in her own way.
What did she do?
Well, her husband used to dish out the dole money for a while. And,
oh, yes. So he was an important individual. Yes. And there's a Ned Connolly, your notes.
Ned Connolly, yes. He was a World War I veteran.
Was he? And did he live in Tullamore?
He lived in O'Malley Street.
O'Malley Street, yeah. I see him there with a rabbit. They're not much shot now, are they?
There are no rabbits to be had.
No,
because it's all now.
Oh. And did you sell ammunition for guns as well?
Oh, I did. Ammunition, rifles, shotguns, stuff.
Oh, did you?
That, yeah.
Oh, that was, you must have been top security then, were you?
Well, no.
Because that was all a tricky period, wasn't it?
It was at the end of time,
in the 70s, yeah. Yeah, very good. And that's him again. These rabbits, yeah. That'd be a 1970s picture then.
It would be.
Yeah. And him, same picture again.
Oh, yeah, but you used to come in to me for fishing, actually.
Yeah.
Ned B. Carty.
Yeah. And is that, I see your shotgun cartridges. Are they shotguns or cartridges that are on offer? You can see Bruno.
Or shotguns.
Yeah, very good. And there's another famous character.
He died recently.
Yeah, he died in 19, I think. Ned Connor.
Ned Connor.
Yeah, we know about him because we're working on a book at the moment on Irish Mist. And he worked in Irish Mist in his latter years. And he wrote about, or he was interviewed by Ger Scully in 2016. And he talked about Tail Lane here, which is in front of your Okay. Do you remember those old houses?
I do, just
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, very
Just
good.
about.
Yeah. And that's Ned Thomas, is
Ned
it?
Thomas is
Yeah.
up and down the street.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And this is Paddy Daly,
Paddy
according to
Daly,
your
yeah.
notes. And a man called Connaughton is the...
Conroy, yeah,
Yeah.
you're great buddies, fishing buddies.
Yeah.
And Kelly had the camera coming over mass, and I said, stop there for a moment. I took the photograph.
It must have been St. Patrick's Day, was it?
Uh,
I see the shamrock is in there.
It must have been, yeah.
And that's a man called Paddy Flaherty, is it?
Paddy Flaherty worked out in Charvel at the timber.
Oh, yes.
He's
yeah.
married to a first cousin of mine.
I wonder did he drink Paddy Flaherty whiskey? And there's another lovely shot of Paddy McInerney.
So what is?
Yeah. Well, we have it from your notes earlier.
I don't remember ever putting that down.
Yeah, maybe we're wrong about it, but somebody gave us
Well,
that.
that could be the name, all right. Because
Yeah, or would it be McDonough, McInerney or
like
McDonough?
an early more than likely.
That was taken near Tullamore, was it?
I was seeing on the blue ball coming around the corner.
Oh, yes, yeah. And that's one of your...
From
somebody
my
out,
buddies from the past,
yeah.
Paddy Malloy from Maharney,
Yeah,
farmer.
Farmer. And was he out, is that a gun dog he had? Or?
Yeah, good dog, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And there's another man that I remember as his schoolboy.
Yes, he's doing messages for you, help you out like that, you know.
Pat Dunn, yeah.
Pat Dunn, yes.
Well, I remember him because his father and himself worked in the brothers' school. They used to clean the school in
All right.
the late 60s. I think his name was Willie Dunn, but I'm not sure. He was a small man, and this is his son. And they had a room in the school, I know, where they kept all their cleaning utensils. Pat English
Pat
there.
English.
Yes. And I see you have a date on that of 1986. And Paul O'Donoghue.
No, yeah, his fault is I took the camera in a hurry and there was a mist on the money. Forgot
Yes.
to wipe the lens.
Sure, oh well, sure, look at... You have to seize the moment in photography and get what you can. And that seems to be people waiting for a parade
That's correct, Paddy's Day.
with Mr. Quinlan there again that we saw earlier, and Mrs. Dolan, according
That's
to
correct.
your notes, yeah. And do you know who the man is there?
The man on the right?
The man on the right, yes.
No, I don't know. I think he was Tarman.
Yeah. It was taken at the Kilbegan Bridge.
That's correct, yeah.
You can see the shops there. And you probably know this man, do
Yeah,
you?
Peter Hussey.
Peter Hussey,
He was
yeah.
a gunsmith.
Yeah.
He used to repair guns for me now and again.
Really, that's quite a... Are there many of those in the country now,
Very,
gunsmiths?
very, very scarce.
Very few, yeah. Yeah. Very good. I never heard of one. He didn't live around here, did he?
He lived right up to the Tullamore locked up.
Oh, did he? Because in the 19th century and in the 18th, you would hear of people who were gunsmiths as a trade. But I don't think I remember any of them in more recent times. So that's news to me. Well, that man you all know.
You all know him.
And that's up in Arden Road, I suppose.
That's the shop,
where
yeah.
he had the shop there, yeah, Phil O'Reilly.
Just did. I have a day at home anyway.
Yeah. And you seem to be fond of St. Patrick's Day, because I see the badges up in the background as well. There are more characters. They'd be the Ballinamere people, would they?
Well, they're from different parts of the town. That's
Yeah.
Tony Kenny with the fiddle. He only died 2 years ago. He's from Furban,
Yes.
83. A great character, though.
And I see John Gilligan that we mentioned earlier. I see
Tony
him in the
Kenny
background.
playing the keyboard, and you have Jim Wrigley with the accordion.
And the man with the glasses, was he Vincent?
I don't know that much. That's
Yeah.
the only one I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. I think he used to play out in Ballyboy as well. I think I saw him out in the pub there a few times. That's another parade, I suppose.
That was a Patrick's Day parade too. That man is a cook from Ballygar. He's a postman.
Oh, yes, Seamus Cook, yeah.
And he's coming out again, telling a few yarns.
Yes, yeah. Very good. That's outside the bank, AIB there
That's right.
in William Street. Oh, that's an early one now. That's quite an interesting
That's,
shot.
yeah, that's in there, that's, 50, that'd be in the 60s.
Yeah, because I can see there was a Mrs. Lowry or
Lowry,
name
that's
if you, living there on the right. And then the forge was further up
Just a little
there,
bit down. Yeah.
3 houses up. And then you had where Matty Reid was afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a Mr. Flynn, you probably remember.
Oh, no, Tom Flynn.
Tom Flynn, he used to sell electrical goods,
Hardware
didn't he?
kind of stuff, yeah.
And then you had Williams's. That could be older than 19... It could even be early 60s, would it? Because you have the Mini Minor there as well.
I bought a Mini Minor in 1958.
And you have the Ford Prefect.
58.
Yeah, 58, yeah. It's an interesting picture for that. Because I was saying earlier, a lot of that part of Kilbride Street...
That's a Morris Minor, I think, in the background, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it looks like an Anglia to me. And that looks like a Ford Prefect.
Maybe so.
And this Mini Minor, so it looks like a sort of an early 1960s picture. And that's another famous one.
If I wanted to laugh, I used to go uptown on a market day, fair day, and he keep having in stitches, that man.
Yeah, he was Sean Barry. He did all hardware, didn't he, in the square, O'Connor Square. Yeah, on the fair day.
Mm-hmm.
And you had, was it a fair day once a month, was it?
Every 4 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. Is Sean Forrested as a young man, or is that his
No,
son?
that's Sean Fry's son
Ah, yeah.
in America.
Very good. And there's Sean again. And that's Sean Norman. He's
at home at the moment.
He's from Edenderry, isn't he?
Edenderry, yes.
Yeah, nice man, I believe. And there's 2 famous people as
Famous
well.
people, everyone knew Sister Bernadette.
I'm not sure who the other lady is.
No, I don't know her, but no.
Yeah.
Sister Bernadette was part
Maybe
of our
Sister
lives.
Alacoque. But that lady, Sister Bernadette, she taught a lot of the young or older people of the town now. Yeah, she did indeed. And that must have been taken in, I think it was taken in William Street somehow. And that's a man called Ted Sweeney.
Ted Sweeney.
Yeah. Ted was a brother of Johnny's.
Johnny, that's correct.
And of course they lived near you, didn't they? In Clontarf Road at one time. Or Johnny's family.
Johnny.
Their parents did.
Right.
Old Mrs. Sweeney, do you remember her?
Around the corner, yeah.
And Tim Buckley, of course.
Tim Buckley.
Yeah, famous postman. And Timmy Connolly.
Timmy Connolly, a night watchman for Williams.
Oh, was that what he did? Yeah.
In latter years.
In down in B Daly, in the
Daly.
distillery, yeah. Yeah. And there's a character now I remember him as a child, but he lived near where you worked.
He was all sitting on that window.
Yeah, Timmy Ryan.
Timmy Ryan, and he was in World War One.
I was going to say, was he ex-army?
Yeah,
because he has the look about him. He's well groomed, and for his age and all that, he presents very well.
Yes.
There's no weight on him or anything like that. Yeah, he looks army. Yeah. And he was in fighting in the First World War, was he?
First World War, yeah.
Another character. Tom Feary,
Tom Feary.
Yeah.
From about Blue Ball side.
Blue Ball, yeah. Yeah, very good. That's taken at Bury Quay.
Yeah.
Probably 1980s.
Oh, that's Tom Fanny. He went there this year.
Yeah.
Tommy's a great mechanic. From Captain Car.
I see it's the St. Patrick's Day parade again. And I see Father Cleary is in it. And Eddie Rogers. And Laura Byrne is there. Now that's a man called Tommy Bracken.
Tommy Bracken, Arden Road, the mechanic.
Yeah, mechanic, yeah. And, that man, do you remember him well? I do.
Tommy Reddy.
Tommy Reddy, yeah. He was a lot into drama, wasn't he?
Drama, that's what was his thing, yeah.
Tommy was from Dangan.
Dangan.
Yeah. And that's the man that you mentioned his shop earlier.
Shop Tony Healan.
Tony Healan, yeah, nice picture of him. Those sort of pictures are hard to get of people working in their business. And we don't take enough of them, in the sense that people spend their whole lives working somewhere and they may not have any photograph of where they work. So there's you taking them here. This is Tony Healan as well.
Tony Healan, yes.
Yeah. And then you have Tony Moran, is it?
Martin Moran.
Oh, Martin Moran, is it? Yeah.
He lives opposite the Pick and Put.
Yes, yeah.
He came from Quebec. He had a pub in Quebec.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Morans. Yeah, I've heard of it. And that's Vincent MacDonald. I remember him, yeah.
He was involved in everything.
He was big into music, and
That's
he was a
telling me.
member of the Gramophone Society.
correct?
Yeah, a nice man. And there he is again, isn't it, with Patricia Dunn, I think is
Patricia
what,
correct.
and a John Keaveny.
Keaveny.
Yeah. Where was that taken, do you think?
That was taken in, that was a Loughnane, was that?
Oh.
Yeah, he Loughnane.
I think that's all the pictures now that we have for today. And it was an interesting exercise to go through them, and it shows the value of taking these shots and having a collection. Making a collection is so important of characters of Tullamore of yesteryear. I want to thank Al Conroy for coming in today to help us to make this film presentation. And could I ask you, have you more pictures like this that you think could make a presentation for next year, maybe?
I don't think so, but I could start again.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's a very valuable thing to do. And while all of us say that we're going to do it, we don't, for one reason or another, get around to it. So I'll thank you very much for coming in today.
Well, it's my pleasure, and any time you need pictures, give me a shout.
Yeah, thank you, yeah. So that's it, folks, for today.